So that's getting into this lesson. Like, we've been working on comparing fractions with pictures and number lines, and now we need to compare fractions without any pictures and number lines. And so the thing you want to mention is, of course, you could always draw a picture. Like, if you ever get stuck, you want to draw a picture. But also, now that we've drawn so many pictures, we should have noticed some patterns about common numerators and common denominators, right? So it's useful to see if the numerators or denominators match. And, like, it's a little bit crazy, but I feel like common and matching, like, it needs to be super, super explicit. So I've created a sheet that basically looks like this for them to start, where they're really telling you, like, let me look at these fractions. Do the numerators match? No. Do the denominators match? Yes. Like, let's shade these in. Let's fill it in. Okay. Here, do the numerators match? Yes. Do the denominators match? No. Let's quickly shade it and quickly decide less than or greater than. So then what do we notice, right? Here, the pieces were the same size. Here, the pieces were different sizes, but we had the same number of pieces. That means depending on if you have a common denominator or a common numerator, you're going to ask yourself a different question. If it has a common denominator, you're going to ask yourself, would I rather have 5 pieces or 7 pieces? Just looking, 5 or 7. If it has a common numerator, I'm going to ask myself, would I rather share with 4 people or share with 6 people? And then you might want to take a second to just unpack that. Like, these are eighths and eighths. So I know they're the same size. Look, my pie to start with looked the same. It's just a matter of, do I shade 5 or shade 7? That's why I say, would I rather have 5 pieces or would I rather have 7? Versus here, where my fractions weren't the same to begin with, right? Fourths and sixths don't look the same, and I'm asking myself, do I want to cut my pie by 4? Do I want to share with 4 people? Do I want to cut my pie by 6? So this is exactly what you were talking about, Renee, just like really laid out in the sense that, like, I'm asking them, or I'm asking them to even tell me, do the numerators match or the denominators match? So then, quickly just to touch on these examples. Here, the numerators don't match, and the denominators don't match. So I can't use a trick. The only thing I could do is draw a picture. Here, the numerators match and the denominators match. So they're the same fraction. Here, I have to draw a picture for this one. Here, these are the same fraction. So, like, these are the thought bubbles. You might even make thought bubbles and hang them up in your room, right? So that they have these as references to be thinking about. So then, is the statement below true or false? First, someone tell me, what thought bubble pops into your mind? Guys, what thought bubble pops into your mind?
They have the same numerator.
They have the same numerator, so I'm going to ask myself what question?
Would I rather have 8 or would I rather share with 8 people or share with 6 people?
Exactly. Would I rather share with 8 people or 6 people? And so then I'm saying, I'd rather share with 6 people. So 6 is bigger. True. Draw pictures every time, you guys, to, like, check your work, right? All right, here's the next one. And you guys, here's one thing that I think you know this, but I'm just going to put this out there. If you notice a lot of slides that all look the same, that means I expect you to go through them kind of rapid fire. Like, I would never make a mini lesson like 30 minutes long, right? So if you see a bunch of slides that all follow that same format, that's expected that you're going to kind of popcorn around the room. Like cold call, like I just did, and now I'm going to say, okay, what question do I ask myself for this next one? Denise, quickly. Yes or no? Moving on, right? Like, we're just getting some rapid fire practice. So I've seen some teachers lately, they just kind of stall out at the rapid fire practice. So just, you're going through these slides kind of quickly. What question do I ask myself, Linda?
Do I have the same numerator?
No. So I notice the numerators, and then based on what I notice, I ask myself,
do I have the same denominator?
I notice these have the same denominator. And so because they have the same denominator, the question I'm going to ask myself is,
should I rather have 3 pieces or would I rather have 2 pieces?
Exactly. False. So I'd rather have 3, so 3 is not less than 2. And then you go through a few more examples. Now this is the kind of question that, like, they're going to probably see. And so the way I've created it is just for you to go through. Like, if they ask me which statement below is true, I'm going to go through and I'm going to evaluate each statement. And if I have to, I'm going to draw a picture. And so here, I've made it so automatically like false and true pops up. All right, great. Will you stop the camera for me?